Welcome to Business Turnaround, your go-to podcast for insightful strategies on managing companies in decline or distress. I'm your host, Marek Niedźwiedź from AXA Capital, and today we are diving into a mistake I see destroying otherwise good blue-collar businesses again and again. False growth. Let's get it started. False growth is when a company looks like it's winning from the outside, but is quietly weakening from the inside. Revenue is up, headcount is up, the order book looks full, everyone is busy, and yet the owner feels more stressed than ever, margins are thinner, cash is tighter, and the business somehow feels harder to run than it did when it was smaller. That's not real growth. That's expansion without control. In blue-collar businesses, growth is often treated as proof of success. More contracts, more clients, more machines, more vans, more people. But growth without structure doesn't create strengths. It creates fragility. The business becomes larger, heavier, and slower, while profitability quietly disappears. I stepped into companies doing double the revenue they had 3 years earlier. Yet, they were closer to collapse than ever before. Why? Because every new contract came with lower margins. Every new hire added complexity without productivity. Every new customer increased operational noise instead of profit. The business wasn't scaling, it was stretching. False growth usually starts with good intentions. An owner wants to keep people busy. They don't want to say no to customers. They chase volume because it feels safer than standing still. But over time, the business crosses a line where activity replaces discipline. Growth becomes addictive and profitability becomes optional. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Growth doesn't fix weak businesses. It amplifies their weaknesses. If pricing is wrong, growth multiplies losses. If operations are inefficient, growth magnifies chaos. If cash flow is fragile, growth accelerates the crash. In one turnaround, the owner kept pushing for more work because he believed scale would solve everything. When we finally slowed the business down and analyzed it properly, we discovered that nearly 40% of the revenue was either unprofitable or barely breaking even. Once we removed that work, remove it, profits increased within months, even though revenue dropped. That's real growth, stronger, not bigger. The key shift for owners is understanding that not all revenue is equal. Some revenue builds the business, some revenue drains it. And the most dangerous revenue of all is the kind that keeps you busy while quietly eroding your margins. A proper turnaround often starts with a counterintuitive move, doing less but doing it better. Fewer customers, but the right ones. Fewer services, but executed properly. Fewer promises, but kept consistently. When that happens, complexity falls, clarity returns, and profitability follows. False growth keeps owners trapped in reaction mode. Real growth puts them back in control. If your business feels heavier every year, harder to manage, and less rewarding despite higher turnover, this episode is your warning sign. Growth should buy you freedom, resilience, and optionality, not exhaustion. This concept of false growth and how to diagnose and reverse it is covered in depth in my book, The Blue Collar Turnaround Bible. You can download the digital copy for free on my website axa.capital. Inside, I explain how to separate healthy growth from destructive expansion and how to reset a business without killing momentum. Thank you for listening to Business Turnaround. I'm Marek Niedźwiedź, and remember, bigger is not better. Stronger is better. And the fastest way back to profitability is not more growth, but better growth. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.